Offensively, defensively, they've had some issues of late, so they can be got at defensively, but yeah, I think City will just have too much quality for him.
And you don't want to be intimidated by the atmosphere and the environment for Fulham. A lot of these players have played back in the Premier League, went down with Fulham. They're going to look at this as a great opportunity.
Spare man for Fulham is the goalkeeper. If they can utilise him and move the ball and play out from the back, and then we'll see how Aguero presses. We'll see how the press after that happens. But City do really punish teams. If they can beat that first line of press and then after that try and work a way in behind with pace, then I feel Fulham, they've got the players that can play, but whether or not they can do it for 90 minutes is going to be a big factor.
Well, Scott Parker has said he wants them to play with courage and bravery, and it did a lot for their confidence knocking out Premier League opposition in the third round. What can they do today? It's Manchester City versus Fulham for a place in the fifth round of the Emirates FA Cup. Your commentators are the former Fulham midfielder Danny Murphy and Simon Brotherton.
Thanks, Gabby. Hello, everyone. This marks the start of a busy few days of cup football for Pep Guardiola's side, with the League Cup semi-final second leg against Manchester United coming up here on Wednesday night. When Manchester City lifted the FA Cup last season, they became the first team to win the domestic treble. And while this season's Premier League title is set to head to Merseyside, there's still a treble on offer for them, with City still in the Champions League as well as both domestic competitions. Finalists 3 times in the last 9 years, Manchester City have averaged 5 goals a game at home in the FA Cup during Pep Guardiola's tenure. Fulham arrive in form, though, third in the Championship table, and they haven't conceded a goal since the third round when they knocked out Premier League Aston Villa. Silva just going through our picture there. There's plenty of experience in the Manchester City lineup today. Gabriel Jesus, who had that penalty saved at Sheffield United during the week. Let's take a look at the team news for today's cup tie. Pep Guardiola continues to rotate his starting 11 as expected, with 8 changes this afternoon. Claudio Bravo continues as the domestic cup keeper. There's an opportunity for highly regarded 19-year-old Spanish defender Eric Garcia. Phil Foden makes his 13th appearance of the season alongside the vastly experienced David Silva and Ilkay Gundogan, while both Riyad Mahrez and Gabriel Jesus play, having also started at Brown Lane on Tuesday. On to Fulham, well, their goalkeeper Marek Rodak hasn't conceded in the last 3 matches. In defence, there's a debut for Terence Kongolo, who's arrived on loan from Huddersfield Town. 19-year-old Steven Sessegnon plays for the first time in 6 games after injury, while Bobby Reid, who's just made his loan move from Cardiff, a permanent one, leads the attack. Both Alexander Mitrovic, their top scorer, and Anthony Knockaert, who scored in the third round, are absent through injury. Scott Parker there, who has done such a good job this season to give Fulham an opportunity of getting back to the promised land of the Premier League following their relegation last season. They were beaten 3-0 here on their last visit. Phil Foden, one of those in the Manchester City lineup today. Danny Murphy, we're looking forward to seeing him.
Indeed, yeah, it's always a pleasure to see this young man, very talented, creative. Not seen enough of him, to be honest, in many respects, but he's playing today and really excited to see what he's going to show, probably from the wide areas.
Well, we've got last season's FA Cup final referee in charge of this one. Kevin Friend is making his 2nd visit here already this year, after 4th official duties when Everton were the visitors on New Year's Day. Familiar sights and sounds around the stadium. Prior to kick-off, we're almost ready to go in this Emirates FA Cup 4th round tie. Final check for the referee, Kevin Friend. Manchester City and Fulham meeting in the FA Cup for the first time in over a century, 106 years to be precise. And Fulham in their change strip on a measly old day here in Manchester get us underway. Here's Tim Ream. They'll need his experience at the back today, won't they? The player from the United States. Rodak there, the goalkeeper, who's kept things really tight, but Ream getting into a spot of bother. The ball in from Mahrez, just a little behind Gundogan.
Poor that from Ream, nervous start. All well and good trying to play out. In the first minute, you've got to get up the pitch. You've had the kick-off, put some pressure on Man City, put yourselves under that pressure.
Well, it had to happen, didn't it, really, Danny? I said they'd need his experience at the back today, and lo and behold, there it was, a mistake in the first minute of the game from Ream.
Well, the last thing you need to do is give these quality players a head start. Got away with it, though.
Yeah, Manchester City's players invariably don't need asking twice, do they? We were saying pre-match an average of 5 goals a game here in the FA Cup during Pep Guardiola's time in charge. And here's Nicolas Otamendi. Joao Cancelo. He's a regular player in the Champions League, but hasn't featured too much in the Premier League so far. First touch for Foden. A couple of good young midfielders on the show today with Foden and Sessegnon for Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham have always applied a lot of energy and investment into their youth policy and trying to bring players through. Credit to them for that.
It's Caballero battling for the ball on the far side, but Tim Ream making a nervy start in the opening seconds of this game.
Yeah, well, it's a big game for these lads, although they're playing well in the Championship. You know, coming to Manchester City as current champions and a team with such quality, there's always going to be a little bit of nerves. But they'll settle down, they'll get a few touches. Be interesting to see how the setup looks like. Probably 3 at the back for Fulham today, which is interesting against the City front 3. We'll see how that prevails.
Yeah, Michael Hector there on the right-hand side of that 3 for Fulham today. He's settling in following his move from Chelsea, which was near the start of the season. He's effectively had the world's longest pre-season. Actually had to wait until the January window opened before he could play.
Actually, we could be right. Could be a 4. They're a bit imbalanced at the moment. It's difficult to tell. But Hector's certainly a player I'm looking forward to see. He had a good season, didn't he? Sheffield Wednesday last season, and Scott Parker's obviously a big fan of him. It's been frustrating not being able to play him in the months that he's been at the club.
There's Claudio Bravo continuing as Manchester City's domestic cup goalkeeper, and Mahrez being put under a little pressure there by Congolo, who've gone powering forward. Hector will get there first, and it'll be a comfortable touch for Marek Rodak. There's Michael Hector, who's finally got a new club on a permanent basis, having been loaned out several times by Chelsea. He was very good for Sheffield Wednesday last season. Eric Garcia in the Manchester City lineup today. Highly thought-of player, product of the La Masia in Barcelona. Spanish under-21 international. Just to the left of the penalty area at the moment. It's up towards Jesus. Collected in midfield by David Silva. Rested during the week. And free kick conceded by Bobby Reed.
Yep, little niggle on David Silva there. See, Scotty Parker's just been talking to Joe Bryan down in front of us. I'm not sure if there's a little tweak already, what he's talking to him about so early in the game. We'll wait and see.
Scott Parker, who originally was appointed into the manager's role 11 months ago following the sacking of Claudio Ranieri. Couldn't keep Fulham in the Premier League. It was a bit of a lost cause by then, but did well enough to get the job on a permanent basis. Fulham currently 3rd in the Championship, 3 points behind Leeds United, having played a game more.
Yeah, they've done well closing that gap. Play good football. Fans enjoy watching what they see down at the Cottage. Done a good job, Scott.
And what can Manchester City come up with here? Bernardo Silva with the kick, away to Angelino. Here's Mahrez. And it's comfortable for Rodak.
Yep, not Mahrez's best cross. Good play from David Silva. Went past 2 players too easily, though.
Marek Rodak, a player who's been the first choice since November. It was Marcus Bettinelli at the start of the season, but he lost his place, and Rodak has impressed so far. A man who's on the fringes of Slovakia's national team, in the squad, but yet to win his first international cap. David Silva lets it run, and Jesus tries to go into the penalty area, pulled back by Tim Ream, and there's going to be a penalty here for Manchester City.
He looked a penalty, first sight.
And it's a red card. Tim Ream sent off by Kevin Friend. So already Fulham down to 10 men here, and we've only played for 6 minutes.
Well, we talked about his nervous touch early on. I mean, Jesus is sharp and quick, but last thing you do in a game is you've got... Oh, yeah. Clear as day.
So clear penalty call.
I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. He knows if he brings him down, it's a red card. Decision-making of footballers sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. Can shake his head, but he's only got himself to blame. Started the game poorly, and then that's a horrendous decision.
Well, what an awful start to the game for Fulham. And Tim Ream taking the long, lonely walk towards the tunnel. His afternoon lasted for roughly 6 minutes, and now Ilkay Gundogan with the chance to give Manchester City the lead here. Gundogan has scored 4 goals this season, a couple in the Premier League, a couple in the Champions League. Has got one in the FA Cup now. Beautifully placed into the bottom corner. Calmly stroked home. Manchester City lead Fulham by a goal to 0, and will have a one-man advantage for the vast majority of this game.
Good penalty, nice and calm, wasn't it? Didn't expect anything else from that man. Strange run-up in many ways, but precision into the far bottom left. And that's it, really. I mean, Fulham now have an absolute mountain to climb. That one player's decision he's let his teammates down and his manager. It was evident. I was watching him walk down the tunnel in front of me, and Scotty Parker didn't even talk to him. There's no words needed. Now these lads are going to have to put in a hell of a shift when they've got lots of other games coming up as well. Really, really bad decision.
Well, there was a decision. It was a clear decision for the referee.
Yeah, sorry, I meant bad decision by the player, not the referee. I mean, Jesus is quick, but in the early stages of any game, you have to think, well, if I bring him down, you know what's going to happen.
There's a man with plenty on his plate all of a sudden, if he didn't have already.
He'll be fuming. He'll be absolutely fuming. He'll feel let down. I would be. You're not just playing one of the best sides, you're now playing them with a man down. You give yourself no chance at all.
So it's Bernardo Silva now for Manchester City, with that early advantage and the opportunity to really enjoy themselves here this afternoon. Collected now by João Cancelo. Otamendi, one of the 3 players in the starting 11 for City today who started at Sheffield United during the week. Mahrez wants it on the near side and receives the ball. Up against Joe Bryan. Not very often it bounces off David Silva.
No. Seems strange to think about him not being here at Manchester City next season.
As Gabriel Jesus chases hard, and Rodek able to slide and get to the ball before him. So that penalty, the first goal that Fulham have conceded since the 3rd round of the Cup. They kept things pretty tight, actually. Don't concede too many in general, but they'll be tested to the limit this afternoon. Gundogan into Bernardo Silva. Here's David Silva now. Oh, he's away from Michael Hector, and there's so much room for Angelino. Sends that one fizzing just above the angle of post and bar.
Yeah, it's a good strike from Angelino. Good footwork again from David Silva. Taking the ball in those little pockets and manipulating it to make space for Angelino. Catches it well enough.
Angelino there Left-back who returned to the club last summer after a year at PSV, so he got some Champions League experience there. Brian forward. Caballero now. Fulham have barely been over the halfway line here in the opening 10 minutes of this one. Here comes Reed.
The thing is, it shows you that you have to be switched on from the first minute when you play at this level. You know, he had his sloppy touch, didn't he, Reem, in the first seconds, and then he wasn't quite at it to read the pass into Jesus and too slow to react. I mean, it's preparation, concentration. If it's lacking for a second at this level of football, you get caught out and you get punished.
There's a lovely little pass out wide there in that move from Phil Foden away to Angelino on the Manchester City left. Here's David Silva. Angelino now for City. Foden ahead of him. Little deflection off Hector. Firm fist from Rodak. But Manchester City predictably camped inside the Fulham half of the field here against the 10 men in red.
Well, it's a good test for City in many ways to see if they can maintain the intensity in their passing to keep making chances and score goals, like a training exercise for them. They'll enjoy it because they've got lots of creative players trying to break down a low block now from Fulham that we can see.
Here's Bernardo Silva. Run being made by Cancelo on the near side, but collected by Mahrez, just looking for an opening. Oh, fantastic skill! And a really good save there by Rodak, who got down quickly.
He's got amazing feet, hasn't he? He's mesmeric at times in the box when he's taking people on. He throws that dummy.
That was a lovely piece of skill from Joao Cancelo there in the corner as well. Yeah. Angelino. Now Foden had been waiting patiently. Hector with the header clear. Lovely play though by Riyad Mahrez there, wasn't it? As if the ball was just stuck on the end of his foot.
He's a magical player. His end product's superb. Making goals, scoring goals. He finds spaces in tight areas.
And by Cancelo. Hector not really dealing with it. Cyrus Christie over on the far side. Nodded forward by Josh Onoma, who they signed from Tottenham last summer. Angelino. Bypassing Garcia. Here's Garcia now. Gundogan. Just a little too long for Bernardo.
It was the wrong pass. Mahrez was on. It was good effort, but Mahrez was in oceans. Just rushed it through the middle.
Here's the little run by Riyad Mahrez here.
The thing is, you know what he's going to do, but you still can't stop it. And that's when you know you've got a great player. Big fan of Mahrez. I think he's a terrific footballer.
You're right, though, about David Silva, Danny. I mean, I think anyone who enjoys watching Premier League football, he'll be really missed, sorely missed, won't he? I mean, he's been such a good player to watch.
He's been fantastic. I had the pleasure of playing against him. Also, the only people that won't miss him are those people who play against him regularly because of his wonderful skill and creativity. But he's been a fantastic player for this club, and he will be, I'm sure, given a wonderful send-off whenever that is towards the end of the season.
Congolo now, the recent arrival on loan from Huddersfield, up towards Caballero, made his move permanent from Wolves this month. Otamendi. Here comes Foden. Look at the space that he's got, the support here. Bernardo Silva. David Silva. Mahrez. City almost passing the ball home. It just got away from Foden.
That was a good move. Foden coming in on the back post. Just couldn't find his feet from the ball from Mahrez, but it was good play from Bernardo Silva and David Silva on the edge of the box. It's what they do so well, isn't it? Just behind him.
Onoma trying to bring it away for Fulham. Reed to Cyrus Christie. Fulham venturing over the halfway line for the first time in a while, but not for long. Close to finding Caballero on this occasion. 1 defeat in 8 going into this one for Fulham, so they're in decent form.
Yeah,
sending off of Tim Ream just changes everything here.
It does, it does. It would have been interesting to see how they'd have implemented their attacking style and their good football here. They'd have been given the opportunity to do that against this Manchester City side, but now we're looking at a team who unfortunately has to hang on a little bit and just have these type of breakaways now.
Fulham did play really well against Aston Villa in the third round. They were worthy 2-1 winners, 2 spectacular goals as well at Craven Cottage. A touchback by Johansson. Ball given away by Michael Hector. That's a bad mistake. You wonder whether Fulham will be made to, to pay for it as Foden sends it wide of the post.
Well, Hector giving the ball away this time. The architect of their own downfall. Foden just snatches at it a little bit, cuts across the ball. You'll see the angle of the ball go away from the post. Maybe could have been a bit more patient there. Look for Jesus in the middle, he had one over.
Phil Foden then unable so far to add to the goal that he scored against Port Vale in the third round.
It's interesting to see Fulham try and play out with 10 men. I mean, I admire the philosophy. I'm not sure it's exactly what I'd be trying to do against the City side at the moment.
Worked out wide by Onima. Here's Hector. Stephen Sessegnon has made himself available just on the edge of the box. Hector. Here's Johansson. But easily play themselves into a spot of bother here.
It's game management. It's talked about a lot within football. You know, senior players or older players. Knowing when you play out, when you don't. You're a goal down, you're a man down. I think there's times to abandon that idealistic view, if you like. Try and get the ball in the other half of the pitch for a little while, play up there, just mix it up a little bit.
Otamendi. Now Garcia. He's getting a few first-team appearances actually this season under his belt. Eric Garcia. 11th of the campaign in all competitions for him. Very highly rated young defender. Angelino. Here's Garcia again. Cancelo now. Real pressure on Manchester City in possession. Foden with all the time that he could wish for. Angelino in. A little layoff from David Silva. Here's Bernardo Silva. Trying to turn away from Sessegnon. Oh, what a lovely goal! Superb finish from Bernardo Silva. Manchester City lead by 2-0 inside the opening 20 minutes.
By number 20, Bernardo Silva.
And already it's just a damage limitation exercise for Fulham.
Yeah, indeed it is. It's again well worked. From left to right, good touch this is from David Silva, that ball five. Foden comes out to Bernardo Silva. He doesn't use mileage, comes back on that magical left foot. Gives the keeper the eyes a little bit. Maybe the keeper should do better. Don't let him shoot from down his left foot. You've got to show him down the right. I know it's hard with a man less, but nevertheless, a good finish. Keeper's frustrated with himself, getting done at that near post.
Well, considering he's on the turn, he got a great velocity on that shot, fairly whipped it home.
Yeah, keeper got a touch. That's why he's disappointed. He jumped up and he was angry at himself.
Ilkay Gundogan's just been on the near side here, having a little bit of treatment. I think he's got a problem with his arm, but clearly, as you can see, seems to be okay.
He's carrying it a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a player who's had more than his fair share of injuries, mostly to his knees during his career.
Well, there's one thing Pep won't want to do, of course. The game's won in many respects. You're not going to risk a player with the amount of games they've got coming up in various competitions of his quality. If he is struggling, I'm sure they'll make a substitution.
Yeah, they've got Manchester United in the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final midweek, and Tottenham next weekend in the Premier League. Collected here by Gundogan. We'll keep an eye on him. David Silva, here's Foden, looking for Gabriel Jesus. Hector able to relieve him of possession. Into Onuma. Congolo now. Joe Bryan.
See, Fulham haven't played one ball behind. Cavallero's up there, he's quick. You've got to relieve some pressure. Play a few ball in behind, see if he can run Otamendi a little bit. Even if it's off a set play, you can't just keep passing the edge of your own box for the sake of it. That's better.
Into Caballero, collected by Johansson. Away to Cyrus Christie. He's got a little bit of space to move into. Fulham at last gaining some ground in the general direction of Manchester City's goal. Here's Reed, just looking for a chance to get a shot in. Straight into the midriff of Bravo.
That was better. Started from a direct ball up to Caballero, though, hitting that front man and playing off him so he can move up the pitch. Good feet from Reed, getting his shot away there. A little bit of respite from the relentless pressure Manchester City are putting on them.
Here's Gundogan now for Manchester City. Mahrez. Gundogan just happy to occupy the middle of the field and help to conduct operations. Now Cancelo. Into Mahrez once again. Patient approach here from City, just looking for the opportunity to prize the 10 men of Fulham open once again. Angelino had been waiting patiently on that far side. The flick from David Silva. Foden battling and losing out initially to Johansson. Caballero. It's a good challenge there by Joao Cancelo.
Yeah, it was. Good recovery, that was.
Silva, Angelino, and Foden! Not far away from three.
Well, it was a good move because it was quick. Turnover happened. Angelino flew forward. Good ball in from Gundogan. Silva here waiting for the right moment. A pull back to Foden. Just come at him a little bit quick. Couldn't keep his body over the ball to keep it down. Just leant back a little bit. In a good position there, Foden, though. When you play wide, you've got to get yourself in those areas where you can score goals, impact the game.
"13th match of the season in the first team, or appearance of the season for the first team for Foden today, matching the total for the whole of last season. Angelino. Now Gundogan. Here's Garcia. Cancelo taking it away from Caballero. Chance for the delivery from Angelino in towards Jesus. And Hector not taking any chances. He was, I think, aware that David Silva was right behind him.
It was actually a good defensive header from Congolo. Prevented Jesus getting a header on goal. Good defending that was. You have to do more of that in this game.
Yeah, just for a change, Fulham with a little bit of defending to do now. Foden. This is Cancelo. It's as if he was considering teeing it up then for a moment. Mahrez. Header from Christie falling straight at the feet of Bernardo Silva, but safely behind the goal for a Fulham goal kick. Well, you mentioned, Danny, that the possibility that with the game, you know, looking very good from Manchester City's point of view, they could make some changes if they want to, but It certainly wouldn't get any better for Fulham if they did. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Raheem Sterling, Sergio Aguero on the bench as well.
Yeah, I think for Manchester City it's a case of how many goals do they want to score, how long do they want to keep the intensity up for. Some of these players haven't played, so they want to, you know, get minutes under their belt. But
they look like they're enjoying it on the bench there in the rain, don't they? John Stones in the middle of the picture there.
I think with the mentality this group of players has got, they'll just be happy that the team's comfortable, and they'll be hoping to go through, of course. More than hope at this stage.
Here's Garcia now. Now Bernardo Silva, Cancelo. He's got Mahrez nearby. Plenty of options for Manchester City here as they use the width of the pitch, and Angelino looking for Foden. Those two combining pretty well in the early stages of this game on the far side. Just gets away from Silva on this occasion. Onuma trying to bring it away, almost left the door ajar for Jesus.
Yeah, it's hard when you win the ball back because your lack of options, of course. I mean, Manchester City are very good at tiring teams out even when you've got 11. They move the ball quickly from side to side.
Here's Mahrez taking it in his stride, away from Kongolo. Into Foden. A block made by Christie. Angelino, Gundogan. Free kick for the foul on Mahrez.
Yeah, looked like a free kick. Dangerous territory, this.
Yeah, not a great spot to concede a free kick to Manchester City. It's the Norwegian international, Johansson. Trying to win promotion again this season. He was on loan at West Bromwich Albion this time last year. They got into the playoffs, but couldn't get back up into the Premier League. Now, what can Manchester City conjure up here? Mahrez and Gundogan, the two players near the ball. Referee Kevin Friend is now happy that everyone is back as far as they should be.
Looks like Mahrez is having it to me.
Or maybe not. He's coming forward for another chat.
Raul Bravo's going to have a job today. Claudio Bravo, sorry. Keeping warm. See him running up and down there.
It's Gundogan who's going to take it. The wall does its job. Michael Hector knocked off his feet. And the referee is coming straight across just to check the Fulham player's okay.
Yeah, it was struck with some force. It was Gundogan, actually. It wasn't Mahrez. Yeah, nice and brave. Good leap, wasn't it? That's what you want from your men in the wall. Nice and strong. He's up and about, thankfully.
Nearly knocked him halfway into next week.
Yeah, that's what your job is in the wall, you know.
Well, he certainly felt that, but good news for Fulham is that Hector's okay.
Don't know why I had Raul Bravo in my head.
Scott Parker, I think that Danny's making the best of a bad job, isn't he, so far today, this afternoon?
Well, what can he do? I mean, his captain's let him down, as I said earlier. He's now got to manage the game the best he can. With the players he's got out there, he'll be talking to them at half-time about making sure they don't capitulate. You don't want to see that from any team. And he'll see the characters from the lads today, because they're going to get tested throughout this game now. But they have got a lot of big games coming up, so he'll want to make sure he's got his players fit and through the 90 minutes as well. So it's a difficult balance. At 2-0, still have a glimmer of hope, but another goal from City, and you're starting to think about a damage limitation, aren't you? That's for sure.
There's quite an early start for the Fulham supporters who've made the journey to the northwest for this game. Not sure how much they'll have been enjoying it so far here in the rain. Here's Bernardo Silva, scorer of Manchester City's second goal. Now Cancelo.
We actually had a couple of good wins for Fulham in my day against Manchester City here. Granted, it wasn't quite the team then than it is now, of course, but still it was a difficult place to come and win.
Manchester City on the front foot again here with Cancelo. Without staying on his line, the header away by Christie, collected by Angelino. Just a shade too far in front of Riyad Mahrez. Reed will try and bring it away, and he's just trying to be a little too intricate there, I think, in rolling it forward towards Caballero.
Yeah.
Mahrez finding Foden. So good under pressure. Silva. Cancelo. And the deflection carrying it wide for a corner. You mentioned those couple of games, Danny. Fulham last one here 11 years ago, 3-1 in April 2009, and you played in that one, didn't you? And in a 3-2 win the season before when you scored. And that was a great comeback that day.
It was, yeah. It was the start of our comeback year that when we won, I think it was 4 or 5 out of the last 6 to stay up under Roy Hodgson. But yeah, it was. I think Sven-Goran Eriksson was manager, and they still had some tremendous players. But this side's become a phenomenal team in many respects. Winning here, any team coming here and getting a result is unusual. So it was a big ask for Fulham today.
Manchester City beaten twice at home in the Premier League so far this season by Manchester United, and also lost here to Wolves, didn't they? 2-0. Wolves again proving what a good side they are in the game against Liverpool on Thursday. Here's Garcia. Angelino. Less than 15 minutes remaining in this first half. What a long first half it must feel for those Fulham players, having had Tim Ream sent off in the opening minutes of the game.
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed in the dressing room with himself. Really gutted about his decision there. I'm sure he'll apologise to the lads at half-time.
Foul by Johansson again, conceding the free kick. Second time in the last few minutes.
Well, it's hard work. City will work you, they'll keep popping it, they'll keep making runs behind you, they'll have little intricate triangles, and they'll make you work, they'll make you run back, press. It's hard not to commit fouls against such a talented side.
So Gundogan and Mahrez again, the two players near the ball. It was Gundogan who struck it last time. It's Riyad Mahrez on this occasion. And some relief there for the Fulham supporters.
Pep rubbing his face in frustration at that free kick, I think. Bit of a lazy swing that from Mahrez.
Well, what a frustrating start to the match for those travelling fans to see.
Yeah, desperately disappointing. He just gets done on the wrong side. You know, he's on the wrong side for a start, which he's not concentrating. And then, of course, when you go in as a defender, sometimes your natural reaction is trying to defend the goal and desperately trying to get the ball, and he's pulled him down. So
6th minute of the game that happened, and it just changes everything in what was already a decidedly tall order from Fulham's point of view.
It was a massive blow, and avoidable one at that. A very avoidable.
Mahrez looking to get up into full speed. He looked as if he was about to get away from his man as well.
Just a little bit too quick from there, I think.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much of that was the challenge and how much of it was the momentum of Mahrez.
Yeah. He stuck a leg out. There's nothing too malicious in that. Can't see any problems.
Joe Bryan, the player involved. Mahrez looks distinctly uncomfortable there.
Yeah, but as you said, I think it was more the height of the fall, wasn't it? He's going quick and he tried to ride it and he's fallen a little bit awkwardly. Raheem Sterling gone off to warm up just in case. Just what you want if you're a Fulham player.
Just the 20 goals for him so far this season.
A bad return, eh?
Here's the challenge again as Joe Bryan sticks his leg out. Cynical challenge from Bryan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a lazy leg, wasn't it?
Well, good to see Riyad Mahrez back on his feet.
Yep. Always good to see that. Players of his quality we want to see on the pitch, don't we?
Last 10 minutes of the first half. A little bit of added time. There's Raheem Sterling. Mentioned that he's scored 20 goals this season so far, but he hasn't scored here since October. The last 7 have all come on the road. And the drizzle that's been falling throughout the afternoon just easing off for the first time here. David Silva just beaten to it by Hector. Josh Onoma now. Looking for Ivan Caballero, and Johansson trying to take it in his stride, but away comes Cancelo. Not for long. Congolo, though, relieved of the ball pretty swiftly. And Hector able to clear. Back with Cyrus Christie now. Stephen Sessegnon sending it forward on the far side. The twin brother of Ryan, who of course is at Tottenham these days. No. Now David Silva. Into Mahrez. Otamendi. He hasn't been required to get involved in the play hardly at all in this first half. Block made by Brian. Helped out by Caballero.
That's the exact position where you need an out ball. A couple of good passes. They won it back, Fulham. They got some time and space to play forward, and Caballero and Onoma, both coming towards the ball. One of them has to spin. There's a full half to use that pace they've got to run into and try and turn Manchester City. If you play 10 men against any team, you have to have someone high up the pitch who you can try and get out to. Even if it's a ball for a fight where he's jumping or running in behind, you have to have a target. If you haven't got a target, then you're never going to get out. And at the moment, they're not getting out at all. You've got to keep one of those lads high up the pitch, standing on the furthest back. Otamendi at the moment.
Here's Garcia, now Otamendi. I think he's just keeping Bravo involved there, wasn't he?
Yeah, give him a little touch.
Into Bernardo Silva. Good challenge, though, by Congolo, trying to win it back. Caballero looking for Reed, and Otamendi just takes it off his toes.
Good chance that to get a shot and goal. Good defending, nice press from Congolo.
Not a great clearance from Bravo, but he was lucky that the header down from Johansson fell at the feet of Bernardo. And here now is Mahrez. Look at the space there in the middle for Ilkay Gundogan. Angelino running forward on the far side. Now David Silva. Phil Foden, flag up, offside. Joe Bryan's got a bit of an issue here. The left wing back for Bristol City, formerly with Bristol City, now with Fulham.
Not good, not what Scott Parker wants to see from any of his players today.
Well, there's the man who scored the second goal for Manchester City, and what a lovely goal it was.
It was worked well from left to right. And he just fakes to go here to Morris, comes back. You've got to work harder to keep him on his right foot. I'm still not sure he caught it as well as it looks. I think the keeper, because he gets his hand to it, expects to save it, and he probably should. He's getting his hand there, he should save it. He'll be disappointed, the goalkeeper. He's got a good sight of it. But it is clever play from Bernardo Silva. He's a special footballer, isn't he? He's got wonderful ability. We saw with his goal at Old Trafford what he's capable of with that left foot.
That goal came in the 19th minute of the game, so Manchester City comfortable right from the start of this match so far, with Tim Ream, if you've joined our coverage late, the central defender for Fulham, sent off in the 6th minute in conceding a penalty, which was stroked home by Ilkay Gundogan, and then that second goal from Bernardo Silva. So Dennis Odoi, one presumes, would be the man to come on if Joe Bryan can't continue. He's among those on the bench today.
Yeah, he's walking off okay, so fingers crossed for him. I remember many years ago going to Old Trafford. It was a league game, and we had a centre-half sent off. I think it was Sammy Hippier for a foul on Ruud van Nistelrooy, penalty, sending off Old Trafford 1-0 down and down to 10 after 90 seconds or whatever it was. 4-0. Ran all over the show. Frustrating day. It can happen when you've got 10 men, and Fulham have done okay so far to keep it to 2. Actually, there's the foul on Mahrez.
I think that's probably where the problem has come from for Brian.
Caused his own problem, yeah, maybe.
He's back on the pitch, so Fulham back up to their full complement of 11 here.
Yep.
We're well inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. We will have some added time, of course. Otamendi with Cancelo now. Scott Parker trying to get his team going from the touchline as best he can. Angelino. Now Otamendi. Interception made initially by Johansson. Reed losing the ball though. Bernardo Silva. Collected by David Silva. Angelino again, and an outlet in space on the Manchester City left. Johansson there, I think, doing everything he can to make sure that he didn't handle the ball.
They've got to go longer. Absolutely putting themselves under huge pressure by continually playing out when you've got Cavaleiro there.
Back with Riyad Mahrez. Good touch from Bernardo Silva. Cancelo.
Good ball.
Bit of space here now for Josh Onoma to venture forward.
Play it.
They are just having a little look while the game is going on to make sure there wasn't a handball, and they have completed that check, so the game will continue with the free kick.
It's another good example of Cavaleiro trying to... I think this is the handball we were looking at. Johansson. Shoulder, left shoulder. No problem there. Another example in front of us of a chance to play the ball in behind and let Cavaleiro have a run.
So Johansson with the chance to put the ball up in the vicinity of the Manchester City penalty area here. Just one pretty straightforward save for Claudio Bravo in this first half from Reed fairly early in the game. Johansson's delivery. Hector on the far side of the penalty area. Hector lets it run. Here's Sessegnon looking for Caballero. City picking up the loose pieces, and Angelino just a little too firm with the pass towards Foden.
Yeah, it's gone a little bit scrappy, hasn't it? It's hard when you've got a man, you've got a couple of goals up, and you've got a man extra to keep that concentration and mentality.
Team are losing, but packet of crisps, that keeps your spirits up.
Yeah, well, not for all.
Well, the damage from Fulham's point of view limited to those 2 fairly early goals so far. And here they are, trying to finish the first half on the front foot. We're expecting a minute of added time shortly. At the end of this opening 45. Angelino with the throw. Here comes Otamendi. Now João Cancelo. Board going up now for added time. Minimum of just the 1 minute here at the end of this opening half. And Cancelo. with Mahrez available just ahead of him on this right-hand touchline. Look at the space there, David Silva finding it once again, and Angelino once more looking for Gabriel Jesus, and Michael Hector in the right place at the right time to turn it behind for a corner.
Yeah, better from City, much quicker. Come from this right-hand side from Cancelo into Silva, ends up down with Angelino again. Fires it across. Jesus is there waiting for the tap-in. It's good defending. That's what you want, a bit more intensity in the attacks from Manchester City, keeping up that pressure.
Just about time to take this corner before Kevin Friend blows the half-time whistle. Cleared away by Sessegnon. Well, it all unravelled rather quickly for Scott Parker's team. Fulham down to 10 men in the 6th minute. Tim Ream sent off in conceding a penalty that was put away with some style by Ilkay Gundogan. And then Bernardo Silva made it 2 for Manchester City in the 19th minute of the match. Fulham, predictably, with 10, unable to come close to laying a glove on Manchester City, and their goalkeeper Claudio Bravo has barely got his gloves dirty in this first half. At half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Fulham 0.